Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cloudy Sheep and we are playing Fate of the World. Let's advance to the new turn. Oh dear. This is really bad. So resource demands outpace supply. We are now in a situation where the oil demand is greater than the oil supply by a whooping 8%, so that's really bad. Arctic methanes get worse still. So more methane is being released, so that's obviously not very good as well. Global gas production is rising, that's good. Global oil production peaks, that's very bad of course, and we'll have to deal with this a little bit. Annual emissions increasing by 23% in Europe, that's unfortunate, 16% in North America. Decreasing in India, that's interesting. But yeah, the 8% is really not a big issue. Japan really likes us. China likes us a little bit less because we are taxing them. Middle East is going down a little bit. But some other regions are seemingly doing alright. So we'll have to see a little bit about that. But again, this really is calls for great concern. So we really need to deal with that quite significantly. Can I please get back to the world view? World view and not news. Thank you. Right, so let's briefly have a look at the global oil situation. So, the oil production is 70,000, which is lower than in the year before, and that is basically because some region, tooltip, come on, tooltip, Latin America, you ceased your oil production. Why did that happen? Probably because your conventional oil ran out. Yeah, that's a problem. Right, so we really need to do something about the oil situation up here. The conventional oil reserves are 2.7 million, or 2.8 million nearly. Of that, most probably are still in the Middle East. Yeah, so we need to deal with the Middle East and the oil crisis over here. So let's, actually start over here. We are still expanding the oil production, so I think that's the an appropriate oh dear God, an appropriate response. You can see here that the oil resource, that the industry and agriculture is being under-supported. So that means that probably we can see that the GDP from agriculture is going to collapse over here pretty drastically, and likewise probably from the industry. That might actually be worse. Let's briefly have a look at what the industry is using over here. Oil. Your oil demand is only 56% met, so yeah, that's not great. Is there anything else that we can do over here? I don't think there necessarily is. I mean, even in the energy tab, we can expand all sorts of production, but really oil is the most important bit over here. So maybe technology would be a little bit of the answer. Again, I don't necessarily think so. Only benthic depressurization would really give us access to more oil. So I think that's it. That's it. What we can do over here. Let's briefly look at the other news as well. There's going to be more drought. You're becoming an unstable region. Less sunshine. But these things are coming up, and more storms, and significantly now at a +3, so +3 really is bad. We could do the adaptation to that. Can we switch to organic farming maybe, just so we are using less oil in the agricultural segment at least? How much is agriculture trying to use over there? Let's get over here. Agriculture oil use. It's really low, but on the other hand, organic farming would be really important. We are still getting some money. How does the world economy look like? It is very likely this is really a crisis, because this means that the GDP in total might drop a little bit, and specifically industry and agriculture is going to be hurt more, and that might lead to an economic crisis, and that of course is very bad. Because it will yield to the commerce industry being too high in comparison to any of that. So yeah, that is a problem. how's the unemployment? All of this seems to be alright, so I think we really should strive to get a new card down here. Let's switch to organic farming. It means lower output from agriculture, but it specifically means less oil usage, so I think I like to see that. Sorry about the noise in the background, not sure whether you can hear it, but there is apparently some very, very loud airplane on top of me. Right. Can we reduce decline coal power, decline gas power, decline oil power? That would be very important. Some of these technologies might be helpful, but for now I think that's just something that we do need to deal with. Let's have a look at China, how things are looking over here. Your industry is being undersupplied by oil, yeah, that's an issue. But advanced turbines are being researched, so that's very good. You're experiencing water stress. Coal is being replaced by electricity in the industry. You're getting more droughts, less sunshine, old reactors are being replaced. Optimum emissions reductions in agriculture achieved, so that is also very nice. Better solar power, all of these things are extremely good. Because that really, more droughts, that is not so good. But advanced turbines increasing the efficiency, that is also very nice. So I think for the first time we really see a significant reduction in emissions in China. Mostly as we are replacing coal use in the industry by energy usage. Which is very good, but it also leads to some problems because we are probably using or trying to use more oil in the mix over here. Oil mix is at 45%, yeah. That is a very, very big issue. So I think what we do need to do over here is promote not uranium production, but uranium use. Commit to nuclear. We might also commit to renewables. I think it makes sense to acquire super tensile materials. When would you require that dynamically? In 12.5 years, but you know, with China, I think China is such a big part of the world economy and the world emissions that I still think it makes sense to acquire this a little bit earlier. Anything popular that we could do? Could do business and household carbon recs. I think that would be a good thing because probably a lot of your electricity use still is for this area. It's not nothing, but it is still, I mean, it's not the most important bit, but it's still an important bit, so I think that would be okay. But industry usage of electricity is so high as well. Anyway, let's do this. It will increase our dependency. It is going to be popular, so it will allow us to run the turbine tax a little bit longer, and I think that is a good thing to do right now. Fourth generation conversation is also a good thing to do for us right now. So all of this is alright, I think. Let's go to India, which is by now the bigger emitter. You're feeling undersupplied, I see that. You did get geoengineering, carbon cash being put to good use. Excellent, so all capital indexes and so are going up, industry emissions are going down, healthcare spending is down, sickness is down, literacy is up, so excellent, excellent news. India experiencing water stress, that is not so good, less sunshine, private investment, very nice, max capital growth index, more private investment, very, very, very good. More sickness though, so how is your sickness looking overall? 38%, so we do need to keep the medical welfare program running. Water stress is significant. Electricity, you would like to use oil, so we do need to deal with that in some fashion. We have some money. I think it makes sense to continue the land protection over here. Improved coastal defenses, I don't think we need that. Agricultural water usage down, that would be very good. I mean, where do we stand in terms of GDP per capita? 11,000. That's not very bad. Oil usage down in I think we need to do this. I think we need to do this for the principal reason. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of organic farming personally, but you know what? With the water usage down and the oil usage down, I think every little bit helps. So let's briefly look at how much that is actually. It's not much, but at least, you know, this will virtually drop, and it does mean that the GDP of this will not go down significantly, and the water usage, at least of agriculture, is gonna go down a little bit as well. So yeah, let's switch to organic farming. Everything else over here is fine, I think. I still think the cap and trade emissions are fine. Withdraw private investment support. I don't think we need that. We need more funding from this region, because I would like this to grow a little bit quicker as well. Southeast Asia then. Yeah, all your resources are being undersupplied, but you did get advanced turbines, so that's good to see. Deforestation slows. All of this is pretty okay. Yeah, especially that these things are reducing our emissions by quite a bit. So I'm very, very happy to see that, because yeah, that's one of our first regions where we did get GDP per capita to be above $12,000 per person, so about $500 per month, which again means that we can deploy these regulation cards over here and just reduce the energy dependency of these guys. And I'm extremely happy about that. By the way, how is the HDI? It's 87%, so I think that's pretty okay. Water stress or anything that we do need to take into account. Forest level is changing, but all in all I'm happy if we are still dealing with that, so I think that's gonna be alright. We don't need to encourage private investment down here. In fact, I think everything is somewhat alright. Do we have any oil reserves? Not really. A little bit, but not really. So no, that's not something that we can do over here. Doesn't make sense to acquire new technologies though. Super tensile might be nice, but all in all, it's not a crucial element over here, I think. So yeah, I think we are fine somewhat over here. We don't need to deal with anything in particular. Water stress level is so low we don't even need to implement that. So with that being said, I think we might just as well... Should we really leave a card just open here? Is there anything really cheap that we could do? Synthetic oil? If not coal dominant energy mix. We're not on a coal dominant energy mix, so I think that's alright. Could subsidize biochar. Lower gas usage. Lower water use, but why would we? I mean, it's fine. Acquiring technology is super expensive. Most of these things are very expensive as well, so no, I don't think so. How's your population coming along? It's climbing up. You might want to do a one-child policy down here, just so that we can reduce the requirements a little bit. Yeah, but you know what? That being said, I think I'm fine in South Asia. Let's hop over to South Africa. Probably rather bad news down here. Yeah, well, some things are going alright. Private investment is alright. Stabilizing. Yeah, you're just unstable now. How did India look, by the way? Stable, so that's fine. Yeah, so stability. All in all, nothing that we do need to deal with right now very urgently. Water stress level is perfectly fine. Forestry change is absolutely alright. Of course, we could continue this program. How do you look in terms of GDP? It's alright. So I'm happy to see that. We could do the higher education program. That's always a nice boost. You do like us fairly well. I think it might make sense to run the one-child policy here for a little while. Or you know what, let's switch also to organic farming. GDP is gonna go down a little bit, but I would be happier if GDP doesn't drop, simply because we don't have the oil to actually run conventional farming. So yeah, I think that should be alright. Northern Africa then? Yes, everything is undersupplied. Deforestation is slowing. Wildfire and erosion chance plus 4%, plus 4, and 3% more drought, or 3 levels of drought. So yeah, things aren't going great over here. Let's get drought and wildfire defense. I think we really have to do this. Subsidized biochar is probably still a good choice because of the water stress level. Can we switch to conventional or biofarming? No, we are already on non-conventional farming. So no, not much of that we can do over here. But I think all of this is a very good choice already. Russia, how are you doing? You're stable, which I very much like. Your afforestation program now. You're reducing the emissions or the use of certain things. Yeah, everything is seemingly going very well. Can you actually tell me, do you have any oil? No, you're negative. And at 208,000 it's not significant, is it? This is 1 million. 500,000. Russia just really 200,000. Yeah, Middle East really is the most important region. And North America. Oceania maybe? Do you have any? Nope. Literally nothing. Southeast Asia then? Nope. Northern Africa? Barely any. Southern Africa? Barely any. China, I don't think so. Japan, certainly not. Yeah. Oh well. Okay, Russia. You can deal in gas though, right? Yeah. So I think we might have to think about increasing the gas capacity over here. I mean, it's not the best thing you can do, but I think we need to do so. So that we do have something to switch over to. I mean, we don't want to use coal, so if we can't use that much oil, just switch over to gas in the meantime and try to get a good stable basis for that. Europe, how do you feel? Yes, you're experiencing the same shortages as everyone else, but your turbines are being researched. Coal is no longer used in industry. That's excellent news. You're heading in the right direction. It's also very nice. Nationalism is increasing, but all in all you're happy. Balanced, restrictive, placid. Solar research also done, and that's good. We could acquire high yield crops over here, but I don't think that's really necessary. No, indeed, you're actually gonna get that on your own very soon. Quantum computing would be really nice if we could get that soon. How does it look? Yeah. So yeah, that would be really nice to get that. So how do we look in terms of emissions then? I think it's up a little, but only a very tiny amount, right? Not that much. How come your energy increased so much? Industry is going down, agriculture is going down, transport is fine. But I think we are using electric cars over here, aren't we? No, we are not. So what are the energy emissions then? What is causing this? Gas. Coal. I think probably switched over to coal a little bit. Can probably get rid of the conversion over here. Late retirement maybe. Grow commerce, we certainly don't want to do that. Don't really have reserves in anything. Commit to renewables. It might be time to do this. I mean, our energy production is causing a lot of our emissions. It's mainly caused by gas, actually. So yeah, mostly gas. Coal just tiny amounts, oil just tiny amounts. I think gas is probably going to increase. Might do more nuclear. I mean, you're a very stable region, right? So why not do that? Oh, improved defenses. So it might like us a little bit more. I think that's a very cheap way to increase our popularity over here. Water management, we could also think about that. Yeah, let's commit to nuclear or slow to complete without proper technologies, but I think we do have some very good technologies now. Super smart grids would be really nice as well, but with super tensile materials, advanced turbines, photovoltaic cells, I think we might commit to renewables over here. It is very expensive, but I think it's a good choice. And you know what, just to complete this set over here, we are going to also improve the drought defenses. I think North America we did, Europe we did. I just lost a little bit of overview. Okay, so Japan, wildfires, but everything else seems to be alright. Yeah, you are replacing also things. All of this is pretty alright. You do actually love us, you do actively love us. Can we deploy tax? Yeah. Let's do it. We are going to tax us if you love us this much. Oceania, you do love us a little bit only. Strained by refugees, really? 3.9%. But I do think we have the inclusion program, integration program. Yeah, we do have that, so I think that's going to be alright. Reduce working week, we don't want to do that. All in all, you seem to be fine. Super tensile materials, 11 years. I don't think we need to buy it over here. I think we're just going to get it over time. We did deal with China, we did deal with Southeast Asia, Russia yes, Middle East yes, India yes, Europe yes, Northern Africa and Southern Africa, so that does leave Latin America. What's going on over here? You are dealing with inefficient stuff. Reforestation program continues. And I think, oh, we are looking at storms now. Can we? No, just adaptation. So that's not quite as important. Vegetarian revolution, carbon rex. We could tax you, but you don't really like us, so let's not do that. Biochars, wildlife conservation, acquire smart grids. Smart grids are really nice, but aerosols, carbon capture. We're gonna get them in 3 turns. This way we might get them a little bit earlier, but then again, it's not quite as important, so we don't really need to do this. Could commit to renewables though, although here we don't have the technology. Let's go for the industrial carbon rex. I think that's a very good choice. Anything else we can do in North America to... I think we need to expand the oil production over here actually. How do you like everything? Cropland management is going alright. Infrastructure. Ooh, 40% complete. That's interesting. Let's see what that does to emissions. I think they should drop down a little bit. Oh, forestry is still up. Damn it. But everything else is so tiny now. So that's lovely to see. Okay, so transport. You're actually using so little fuel now, and electricity is... Probably you're using more electricity now, but... Actually using significant amounts of biomass by now. Interesting. Let's drop out of the transportation efficiency. I think that's going to be alright. And this probably will finish next turn. And then we are going to expand the oil production. And you're going to like us for that. Yeah, I think that's alright. Was there any news about wildfires? Oh yeah, there is. We can't do anything about the storms right now, but I think everything else should run really nicely, especially with the expanded oil production. I'm very hopeful that we can stabilize everything else. So we do get TurboTax over here, we do get it over here, over here as well. Do you want to maybe switch it out over here? So I don't think we need it right now. Maybe it makes sense to acquire something else. Acquire biofuels with reduced impact on food supply. Biofuel capacity. Wouldn't be too bad. You're also communal, so you like certain items a little bit more than other people maybe. Enhanced water struct or enhanced defenses would be nice. Wildlife conservation, you would actually like that. It might be nice to get you to like us a little bit more. Grow industry, eco-awareness. I don't think we need eco-awareness. I'm very mindful about people being too eco-aware. Otherwise, they'll just yeah, they'll just not be quite as helpful in still earning all the money that we need. Your water stress level is pretty high actually, so you know what, let's get enhanced water infrastructure for you. You're still committing to nuclear, you're acquiring good stuff, you're trying to push out coal use out of the industry, you are using regulations that seem appropriate, so that's fine. That does leave us at a little bit of money, which we could maybe use in a good fashion over here, or here. No, I think all of that is fine. One-child policy, cap and trade emissions. We don't necessarily need that cap and trade in Southeast Asia now. Which means we could also drop someone else from that. Is there anything else we want to do over here though? Private investment. Deploy aerosols, synthetic oils, coal-free industry. If we drop you out of this, I mean, did you get positive returns on that? Minus 10% industry emissions, healthcare spending. No, I think it makes sense to keep that up. Let's give it up a little bit. Anything else we want to spend money on? That's fine. This is good, this is good, this is good. Middle East. No, all of these things are fine. Could sign you up, but I think that would leave too few rich countries. Russia. Oh, let's briefly maybe look at the stability over here, and I think this over here is a little bit better overview. A couple of unstable, but nothing too bad. So nothing very unstable. So that I think is alright. These are good cards to play. Maybe we could switch out of the higher production. Higher education, I mean, sorry. And acquire new technology over here in Southern Africa. That might not be too bad. Let's go for advanced turbines. Let's drop out of this. Acquire geoengineering. And then next turn we can acquire something more. Very little money left and enough time to take this turn. Temperatures are going up. Global oil production is on the rise again. That's excellent, excellent news. Quantum computing breakthrough, also very, very important change. But in Southern Africa, we now see that the rhinoceros is gone, officially extinct in the wild. So that's our first loss. That will reduce the points that we are going to get. But you know what, I prefer if the world still is in balance in terms of economy and temperature, and that should be alright. We also discovered benthic depressurization, which is important, but a little bit of a double-edged sword, if you know what I mean. So this allows commercial exploitation of the seabed methane clathrate deposits, so basically access to more gas. But there's a risk of destabilizing that, and then that would release large bursts of emissions, and that would really not be great. A couple of positive things over here. North American emissions decreasing because of the wildfires, I think. China and Europe also decreasing, so I like to see that. Some people do like us, Japan, Europe, North America, China actually. Latin America is still among the least, and the Middle East too does not like us that much. So, and we are not short on oil anymore, so it was helpful to get North America and the Middle East to increase their production, but of course the issue is we are still not reducing emissions really. Global emissions are still somewhat stable over here, although China in particular now seems to be a very much of a success story. But we need to be careful that India isn't picking up the pace on that one. So, that being said, I think things are looking up, specifically with the new technology. We can briefly have a look at what that does in the quantum computing tab over here. So if we look at acquiring that, you can see over here all GDP sectors get plus 14 point something %. So that's an extremely powerful card to boost the economy. That being said, I think things are looking well for now. So thank you very much for watching, and to see you again next time. Bye bye.